Hey, it's party time, Mom. Do you think, Sarah, that do you think if it wasn't for social media, like people just wouldn't be putting all this stupid crap out there, doing all this stuff they're doing? Are they just?
I wonder about that.
Right before we started right here, you were telling me about they were doing a twerking festival for kids.
Yes, teaching kids how to twerk in Austin. Men teaching young girls how to twerk.
And it's on social media. It's right there for the world to see. I mean, I know that NAMBLA's been a thing for a long time. Pederasty's been a long. I mean, you go back to biblical writings, and they talk about this kind of stuff.
Right. I wonder if I do feel like it still would go on. Maybe not with such high numbers of people participating, but it would be going on, and we just wouldn't be able to expose it the way that we can now with social media.
Yeah. Let's read some reviews of the show.
Okay.
Here's one. I received the best blumpkin I have ever received from my girl while my girl and I were listening to this podcast. Your podcast really spices things up for us. Thanks, Chad.
What? 5 stars, I assume.
5 stars.
Well, I would just like to know which episode this is taking place to.
I don't know, but I'm glad to spice up your toilet fellatio relationship. Toilatio. Yeah.
I mean, 5 stars is 5 stars.
5 stars is 5 stars. Love listening to you get super excited about a topic and just go on a rant. So glad I can hear Chris's giggling in the background again. Well, not today, Crow Mama 6. But best podcast ever. Thanks for always keeping it real, Chad. Longtime listener from the Heartland. Sweet Sherry, thank you. It's been a while since people have left us some reviews. Those are about a week old. So go to where podcasts are offered. Leave us a rating and review. 5 stars is all we take. So that's what we deserve. And leave us a good review. I don't want to hear about your blumpkin, but if that's what it takes.
I actually do. I want to know if you're gonna submit a 5-star review.
If you're doing sexual acts,
you
like
tell
a blumpkin,
us whatever.
Which a blumpkin is when you're getting a blowy while you're pooping.
That's way too. No.
Yeah.
No. I'm adventurous, but I'm not that adventurous. You got to draw the line.
You got to draw the lines.
Just the stench itself.
You got to draw the lines. I can't wait for the weekend. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to paint some Hunter Biden.
I believe that.
I'm gonna. If you've been missing out, I'm painting it. My Hunter Biden art gallery is going to come out soon.
My hope is that you make more money than Hunter Biden actually does at his art.
I don't think that I can't get 5 stars out of most of our people. I don't think I'm getting money out of them. So I'm thinking about getting. I was laying in the hotel room last night. There he is. Look at Hunter. God, he's so stately. Isn't that what Nancy asked us to call her breast?
Yeah.
Stately titties.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't here. I missed it.
She was on another level. I think I want to get it on an old laptop and pop the keys off, and I'm gonna make art out of the keyboard. Out of the laptop keyboard.
Yeah.
I got ideas, man.
I like it.
I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm excited about it.
Spoken like a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, Tuesday I'm going to be in. I don't know how you're doing. I just have to drive today, so I'm going to pour some tequila.
I don't have to drive.
I'm going to be in Lindale, Texas. Steve Helms, the Texas legend. Bobcat Ben McPherson on the fiddle. Mike Wasden and Jeff Gilbert, the Ragamuffins. We're going to be full band on stage, Lindale. Brisket Love.
Did you just give Ben the Bobcat nickname?
No, he's had it.
Has he?
He's had it for years.
Oh.
You know why?
No.
Have you not heard that? You've heard the story.
I don't think I have.
We were in Casper, Wyoming in the middle of COVID because Wyoming had not heard COVID was a thing.
Right.
So we could still go do shows.
Yeah.
And we went to a bar after the show. It was me and Ben and Steve and Bree Bagwell, who was traveling with us a little bit at the time. And this bar had taxidermy all over the place, stuffed to heads and everything. And so Ben went to the bathroom. He comes running back, and Ben's a very quiet person, but he was in a panic, and he said, "We got to get out of here." Like, what's wrong? Was it a blumpkin? Was it a fight? What happened in the bathroom? He goes, "We got to go." He goes, "I just threw up on a bobcat." And so we didn't want to stick around to see what stomach acid would do to the fur of a stuffed bobcat. So we got the hell out of there. And so the following week, we had a show in New Braunfels at Fry Heights, and Steve Helms and I went over to Green and had a nice romantic lunch and a bottle of red wine. And I told him, I said, I'm going to go find a stuffed bobcat at one of these antique malls around Green. Went in there, and the lady, she said, we don't have stuff like that here. And I said, I bet I find it, because these antique malls, y'all have everything.
Everything, yeah.
And I found a bobcat head. It's in.
So funny.
It's in the deal. I'll bring it out for the next segment and show the Bobcat Ben head.
Yeah.
That's the bobcat that's in my dressing room.
Oh,
that's Bobcat Ben.
Okay, because I know the Bobcat very well.
So
I didn't
you know the Bobcat.
realize.
So that's the one I bought. I bought
that
it.
Is so
$95 this thing cost me.
Wow.
I know. I told my mother this story. She said, "You're making too much money." It's not enough, Mom. I'm just willing to invest in the things that matter to me, like Ben and his head and your Blumpkin. Said that to you, not my mother. And then get this, when we moved studios back in December, Mark, we moved from that room over there into this room over here. You guys just picked it up and moved it over here. The Bobcat disappeared because the bar went away.
Yeah. And
so they had a yard sale recently.
Yeah.
Glenn Beck's crap was on sale.
Yeah.
And I went back there, and Bobcat Ben was sitting in the yard sale pile.
He goes, hey, this is mine. I'm taking it. I paid for this.
I should have told him that, like, that Lincoln's desk was mine too, and taken that. They weren't selling Lincoln's desk in the yard sale, but
that's funny.
Whatever.
I just get kind of jealous.
Why?
Can I just? Well, because everyone you know seems to have a nickname.
You don't.
I don't have a nickname.
You're a spicy bitch.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't give you that nickname.
No.
Somebody else did.
Yeah.
I've thought about that often, that everybody has a nickname, but you do not.
Yeah.
And I just can't do it.
That's fine.
I just can't.
That's fine.
Just can't do it.
I'll take it as a compliment.
You're our Yegro.
What?
We called you the Yegro. You're our resident.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, talking about Kanye.
Yes.
You're a Yegro. I don't know. You're an expert.
I'm all kinds of experts,
so
apparently, according to your show.
What do you think about Kanye buying Parler?
It's very weird.
It's weird. Well, it's all weird.
It doesn't seem like a very good investment, I would say. It's weird that it's happening at the same time that he's like very buddy with Candace, who obviously is married to Candace Owens, who obviously is married to the CEO of Parler, and all of a sudden,
so
he's buying acquiring it.
And I'm going to give you guys a little glimpse behind the scenes. So last week or the week before, we were supposed to talk to George Farmer, who is Candace Owens' husband. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to come on the show, and he was going to Skype in. He's the CEO of Parler. The day of the interview, they said, well, we're going to let you talk to our chief communications person. This was 2 weeks ago. This was long before the Kanye thing came out.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to talk to him now. Right. But I said, I don't want to, cancel the interview.
I signed up to talk to George.
Yeah, George, they reached out for George to talk to us. Now it's not George. That ain't how this works. We're not doing it. We have standards around here, damn it. If it ain't Nancy Pelosi with a handle, then we don't want to talk to him, okay? Which I know George. I've known George since he and Candace connected with each other, but I don't like being stood up like that.
Yeah.
I wear a cowboy hat, and I'm a redneck, but I got standards, by God.
That is weird.
I like to be respected in the morning. Not really. I don't really want you to be there in the morning.
He's too busy getting his Blumpkin.
Blumpkin. Blumpkin. It'd be a nice Irish song. Yes.
Would it?
I don't know. The Irish poop. I assume they do the other things involved with those. Anyway. But the Parler thing, I was watching a clip from Monday night where Chris Cuomo, that's the reporter, right?
From CNN, that's now at News Nation.
At News Nation.
Yeah.
Andrew was the governor.
Yes, Chris
is the reporter.
The host, yeah.
Show you how much I care about the Cuomo brothers.
Right.
Chris was interviewing Kanye. Kanye gives 0 Fs, right? He got his phone.
How did he go on with Chris?
He's in the car, right? And it's just this massive talking over one another. And Chris kept interrupting him because and I was like watching Chris, and I was like, I sort of kind of had respect for how he was controlling the narrative. Not that I agree with Chris Cuomo.
Right.
But like he was at least controlling because
he was dedicated to it.
Is going to keep going round and round in the same circular, saying the same stuff and never really getting anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I was like, at least I can respect the professionalism of his journalistic abilities on television off the top of his head to control this conversation. And so I found myself slightly admiring Chris Cuomo for a second, and then I came to my senses. Okay, listen, I try to be fair. I try to be fair. Because I put myself in that situation, and I go, how would I be handling this?
Yeah, but you're saying you try to be fair, which is awfully nice of you because Chris Cuomo wouldn't give you the same benefit.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't piss down my throat if my guts were on fire.
Right.
Or give me a blumpkin. Yeah. See, now, if Chris were here, he'd be trying to put blumpkin in the title of this show. Anderson Cooper will.
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon. You can't mind the smell of fecal matter. Yeah. So this weekend, I'm going to Round Top, Texas. One of my favorite things I do every year. I try to go a couple times a year. But Round Top, Texas, that's Antiques Week.
Antiquing.
I go Antiques Week. I'm a unique human being.
That's putting it. That's an understatement.
Not eccentric, am I? I don't think I'm eccentric.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
No, I just like to go to the Kroger every day and walk up and down the aisles.
Why is that?
I like last night. I was laying in bed. I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I thought of things I needed at Kroger.
Did you?
I did. And so I started making a little list on my phone. I need Nair. Don't ask why.
What?
I need some Nair. Listen, I'm an artist. I'm the artist formerly known as Chad. Going forward, I'm CP.
Are you?
I'm CP.
I wouldn't be known as CP.
I'm CP. CP.
Yeah, I know, but there's just another association with.
That's the point.
Oh.
That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah. So ICP.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Anyway.
Also child porn. So there's that.
We're not thinking about that. Is that the
a lot of people call it CP.
Child porn?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of people who talk about child porn, but you've delved into that world, so I don't know in terms of calling these people out.
Hold on. Just to set the record straight, I have not delved into the world of child porn.
No, not that way, but you're exposing a lot of this stuff.
Okay,
so
just wanted to make sure.
The lingo.
If it's anyone's first time watching, that was not what he meant.
You know the secret handshake for the clubs. I don't know.
Yeah,
this
probably.
Stuff. You get in there with your pink and green wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to Round Top because it's Antiques Week. And, Round Top, Texas goes from population 90 to population 90,000 for 1 week every year.
Oh.
I'm two of those people. And
Are you one?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I represent two of those people.
Yeah.
But it's my split personality. It's my schizophrenia coming out.
It sounds fun.
Well, it is fun. It's a lot of crap on the ground that you go and look at, and you're like, "Oh, can't live without it."
Yeah.
And then you load your truck up and come home.
It's like, this is literally someone's garbage, and I'm buying it. This seems like a bad deal.
No, it's not. They bring stuff in from Europe, and there is some garbage.
Okay.
There's some art, and there's some crafts. And
art like your Hunter art?
There may be some Hunter art. There's Hunter right there.
Boy, let me tell you, that's some art.
There may be some Hunter art that pops off in Antiques Week this week.
Wait, are you selling it?
Yeah, maybe. I've got some pieces that are going up for sale.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And also, when you people sign up to come, when y'all come to sign up for Glenn Beck's American Experience and the Mercury One ball that they do every year where Glenn gets another award for being Glenn, you might just see some Hunter Biden in there. He is part of the American Experience. If you go over there to the museum and you walk into the vault, Glenn's got this stuff on the shelves of stuff he thinks is going to be obsolete one day. Like he's got bottles of Aunt Jemima, and he's got Lincoln Logs, and he's got Mr. Potato Heads, and all this kind of stuff, and other things that we're not going to talk about. But I think it needs a Hunter Biden.
How epic would it be if you just set it up there and didn't tell them, and we saw how long it took them to notice that it was there?
So
what did they do?
Pulled the picture up, and I showed Stu Bergier on your set the other day, and Stu was like, how Stu gives that little nervous laugh. That's good.
You put him on a show with you and Alex, and he is like,
oh, that's good. But you know what? I made the association talking about how Pete Buttigieg says, well, it's possible, it's not inevitable that we're going to go into a recession. And I said, well, AIDS is possible, and not inevitable unless you keep doing the stuff that causes AIDS. Well, you keep doing stuff that causes recession, and it will be inevitable. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? You know how many people on Twitter Monday night were saying, Chad, we totally understood the analogy.
Yeah. No, I understood the analogy. I was just kind of like, oh.
You just couldn't believe I went there?
Yeah, I was like, of all the analogies, you picked the AIDS one.
The AIDS one.
Well, you rarely catch me off guard. That caught me off guard a little bit.
Oh. Guys, if you hate going to the doctor, listen, it literally takes half a day just to get it done. Also, you don't want to talk to your doctor about certain issues. Here's the thing. Most men's health issues have really simple solutions. Rex MD is all about simple solutions. Rex MD makes getting generic and branded Viagra or Cialis easy. Everything's online, even the prescription, and they deliver to your door. No office visits, no talking to a receptionist. Super simple. Did you know Viagra can cost around $90 a pill, but Rex MD has generic Viagra for just as low as $2 a pill. Just fill out a quick medical questionnaire on their website. A doctor will review your situation, prescribe you generic Viagra if appropriate. Your medication gets shipped right to your door with free 2-day shipping. It's fast, simple, and cheap, and you can access your U.S. licensed Rex MD physician anytime you need afterwards. Rex MD has helped over 300,000 guys get generic Viagra quickly and conveniently. Rex MD just works, and it works the very first night. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for our viewers, but you got to go to rexmd.com/Chad to get started. That's rexmd.com/Chad, and we'll be right back. I love watching you have little meltdowns, Sarah.
You were paying attention?
I pay attention to everything you say. This is Bobcat Ben right here. Look at that.
Ugh.
I know.
He looks scary.
And what's
He
funny,
needs a
what's funny is,
toothbrushing.
and when I read this is an old one. Like, I'm scared of blowing him because the dust comes out, and I don't know whose skin cells those are. But this taxidermist right here that did this has done a ton of taxidermy for me down in South Texas. Mm-hmm. That's funny. Small world. And then I found that in Green, Texas. He's nasty. But I saved you from Glenn Beck's trash heap. I sure did.
Good old
what do you
Bobcat
think about,
Ben.
I'm curious, what do you think about this Herschel Walker, Raphael Warnock thing? Honestly, what do you think?
Just the race itself?
Just the people involved, the race itself there in Georgia?
Look, I think that, obviously there's been some dirty laundry that's been purportedly aired of Herschel Walker's.
Right.
I'm to the point where it's like, Herschel Walker, it has been very clear that he has a past that he's not proud of. And he has this redemption story. And so to me, it just comes down to, do conservatives want control of the Senate or not? It's so much bigger than these men and their personal stories of what happened a long time ago when they were a different person. It's just so much bigger than that. So if your issue is pro-life, because obviously the story that came out was regarding Herschel Walker, who allegedly paid for an abortion of one of his girlfriends. And so it's like, okay, whatever he did or didn't do happened or didn't happen in the past, but now we're in 2022 where you can either vote for a candidate who will vote for pro-life legislation and against murdering babies in the womb, or you can vote for a complete radical who supports abortion up until the point of birth and possibly afterwards, because they're not quite clear on whether or not there's ever a line. Right. So it's so much bigger than that. And I hope that Georgia turns out, because I think that's what it's going to come down to, is who is passionate enough to show up at the polls and actually make their voice heard. Well,
and, Herschel Walker, go Dogs. The thing about it is, this is what frustrates me with voters and these people who claim to be so triggered by candidates, right? Mm-hmm. All right. I don't look at what a guy did 4 years ago, 40 years ago.
Right.
What's he going to do in the next 4 years?
Right. Exactly.
Is he going to do the job I'm hiring him to do?
Right.
What he did with his ex-girlfriend, that's between him and God and the girlfriend. All right? What I've got a past, God knows. And I expected a lot of ugly shit to come out when I was running.
Yeah.
Right? I expected people to come out back and forth, whatever. But again, I always go back to say, never had an abortion, never asked anybody to have an abortion, never kissed a girl didn't want to be kissed, never did anything inappropriate with a child, never did, I didn't do things like that.
Right.
I get it. If somebody has a track record of being scum, then hopefully we wouldn't put them in that position to even be up for the hiring of the job. But Herschel Walker is.
Yeah.
He is the guy that through the primary process, Georgians chose to be the Republican representative for that seat.
Right.
Versus a Marxist like Raphael Warnock.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So is Herschel Walker, regardless of his past, he's been honest about that, college and pro athlete, he's got a past. I assure you he's got a past. That maybe you approve of, maybe you don't care. Will he do the job you're hiring him to do for the next 4 years? I believe he will.
Right. And my hope is not that he falters at all, but even if he did, it would still be light years better than having a radical Marxist like Warnock in office. I mean, it's not even close.
And if you look across the board at all the Republicans running in the country, and again, I don't praise a political party.
Right.
We were talking about this the other night. I've never been a part of a political party. I ran as a Republican in Texas because I had to primary Greg Abbott.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm a conservative. Unfortunately, I don't think Republicans, by and large, as a party, they don't hold to my conservative values. I'm more conservative than the Republican Party.
Yep.
So that's that. If you want to be, you're not a Republican. No, I'm an actual conservative.
Right. Which is much different these days.
I don't know the secret handshake, just like Democrats aren't liberals.
Yeah.
I said on the show the other day that I miss real liberals, and people commented on that. We don't miss liberals. You don't know what I'm saying.
Right.
True liberalism, that's John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Right? It's that would be closer to today's libertarian in a lot of ways, right?
Oh yeah.
But today we don't have liberals. We've got libertines, we've got progressives, we've got lefties.
Yes.
These are
It's
activists.
Yep.
These are extremists. Unfortunately, you got them on both sides, but now they move the pendulum so far to the left that if you're in the middle, you're a wild right winger. I mean, look at guys, again, we've talked about Bill Maher. Bill Maher comes out and speaks common sense, and everybody's like, geez, he's getting red-pilled. Or, we've lost Bill to the right, Or even our very own Dave Rubin.
Yeah.
Dave Rubin still considers himself a liberal.
Right.
But everybody's going to look at him and say, oh, no,
Classical.
he's insincere, he's a conservative, he's all these things, he's an extreme right-winger. He's not. But because the pendulum went so far left, the wild eyes kind of created the narrative. Every Republican running in the United States of America, it's up for election on November 8th, 2022, in just a couple of weeks, is better than any Democrat that's running.
Yes.
Period, across the board.
And it historically has been so hard for me to advocate for voting straight ticket. This is an election that I am absolutely happy to go on the record as advocating vote straight ticket Republican. Absolutely.
Because we've already seen that the activists are the ones in control, the progressives are the ones in control, and they will take a Joe Biden and they turn him into their puppet. It doesn't matter what that guy stood for the last 50 years.
Right, exactly.
We know Joe's an ignoramus and has been for 50 years, his entire life.
Yeah.
He's been a dumbass.
Right.
But he might be politically smart, but in life he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
And always has been. Just ask Clarence Thomas. But he never ran on the principles that he's governing with right now.
Right.
He never believed in the things that he says he believes in.
Well, that was why it was so easy for him to be the puppet, right? That's why he is the guy that they're platforming, and everyone goes, "Oh, well, he's common sense, he's moderate, lunchbox Joe, middle class Joe. He'll be fine." And it's like, no. He's still advocating for the same radical policies that we're all fighting against.
Because those are the ones in control. The people that are pushing the policies.
Right.
So you have this nonsense of thinking, oh, well, that person's going to be okay in common sense. No, they're controlled by the system that's in there.
Yeah, and I do want to clarify too, because I absolutely vote straight ticket Republican. I will not. You'll never catch me recanting that statement because I absolutely 100% believe it. But I do draw the line personally at, like, for instance, the other night, you always get those spam calls that your caller ID tells you potential spam, Washington, D.C., and you never answer it. And I was sitting on the couch with my husband and I went, I'm curious. I want to know who it is. And so I answered it. And it was, of course, the National Republican, Association asking for money. And I just hung up because I said, all right, I've got two options here. I either hang up or I say some very unkind things to some, unlucky woman who doesn't deserve it because she's just doing her job. So I chose to just hang up because I thought to myself, the nerve of you guys, the establishment, right? The nerve of the establishment to ask me for money when they have done nothing. Mitch McConnell, you want to donate to Mitch McConnell? You want to donate to Kevin McCarthy? I'm like, I'm just going to hang up because that's actually the kind thing to do right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like give the Republican Party your money. I'm just saying we have to have them in office because even with their shortcomings, and I'm happy to hammer on their shortcomings, it's still going to be so much better than having the radical left.
It's insane. I got this text yesterday, 3 p.m. Working America, Georgia, whatever that means. Working America, GA. Georgia's mom and pop shops are struggling. Stacey Abrams has the know-how to help small biz. Vote Stacey Abrams on 11/8. That's an ignorant text message.
Yes.
I mean, that's really?
Yes.
That's what you sent out?
They're really bad at this.
They're bad at
They're
the
really bad at this.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams has the know-how to help small biz. Obviously, that was a budget text message where they had to
the number of characters.
Count the characters.
How can we?
Working America, GA. GA's mom in pops shops.
Listen, this is her second time doing this.
Yeah.
The donations are not coming in as much as they were the first time around, Chad. They got to cut corners.
Yeah. It's like they were limiting characters, kind of like the teeth in her mouth. Both are limited number. Hey, with the consumer price index increasing yet again, the stock market has been in absolute turmoil. What's our illustrious leader going to do to quell the surge of inflation that's destroying American families? He's going to spend more money, going to add to the burden. Don't bury your head in the sand while your savings get decimated. Do something about it. Text CHAD. I spell it Chad to 989898. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on protecting your savings with gold in a tax-sheltered account. These are great people with almost 20 years experience converting IRAs and 401ks into precious metals. IRAs don't allow the left to devalue your savings. Text Chad to 989898 and claim your free, no obligation info kit from Birch Gold. Again, you can own physical gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account, and Birch Gold will help you do it. Birch Gold has an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of satisfied customers. Check them out now. Text Chad to 9898. Secure your future with gold. Do it today. We'll be right back. Might as well be burning money, setting money on fire around here.
Come on, let's go.
Let's
All right,
go. I'll do it live. It's time to wax eloquent. Folks, let's do a little experiment in association, shall we? I'm going to list off a series of words, and I want you to tell me what they all have in common. Are you ready? Here goes. Russian collusion. Hunter Biden's laptop. Mostly peaceful riots. January 6th deaths. Nick Sandmann. Did you get it? I'm guessing you did, because it doesn't take a floor-to-ceiling whiteboard festooned with newspaper clippings and connective red string to suss out what these were all stories blatantly lied about by the media. But it's nice to have these things codified in ways that we can point to for purposes not only of explanation, but of explication. A new survey just came out from the Pearson Institute showing that 77% of adults over 18 in this country agree that misinformation increases hate crimes. 73% say that at the very least, misinformation increases extreme political views. Now, on its face, you could perhaps accept that statement without even having to really think about it. But let's think about it for a minute anyway, because this kind of thing doesn't only produce extreme political views on one side. On the right, that kind of thing pushes us further and further away from the conversation because we tend to feel that nothing coming from anyone who agrees with us is or ever will be accurately reported on, and we're not wrong about that. It makes us not want to participate in the national discussion at all with those who disagree because we can't seem to get any kind of a good faith approach. And that's genuinely a bad thing because we need to have balanced conversation. If you think that you should be getting all of your political opinions only from someone like me, you need to branch out and take on a wider array of opinions before you make up your mind. It's absolutely necessary to the process of critical thinking that we listen to and consider the opinions of those with whom we disagree. But on the other side of the political, intellectual, and ideological aisle, you have the people on the left who are also negatively affected when the mainstream media shits the bed in terms of reporting. How many people developed Trump derangement syndrome thanks to the Russian collusion hoax? How many people are unaware of the corruption in which Joe Biden has participated down through the years, almost directly because of the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up? How many Olympic-level mental gymnasts did we produce in this country when we showed people fiery but mostly peaceful riots and then asked them to make sense of what their eyes were seeing and their ears were hearing in conjunction with what their propaganda was telling them? And what about January 6th? How many people to this day think that there were people killed at the January 6th invasion other than Ashley Babbitt? I guarantee you the Venn diagram between those people and the people who think Nick Sandmann is a racist is practically a circle. Folks, one of the greatest disservices this country has ever done itself is allowing the mainstream media to first become a giant that overtook our entire daily lives and then to atrophy into the wart-faced slimy monster that it has become. It's not good for us psychologically in so many ways, and it has the added detracting factor of activating the lemming gene in so very many of us. We've got to rise above living in an intellectual milieu that allows us to absorb news and automatically take it at face value from the source. They're never going to do better, at least in their current incarnation. It's up to us, folks. Well said. Well said.
Wow. Did you just tell yourself well said?
Well said. Well spoken. That's the truth. Listen.
Yes.
Listen. I have people who want to just blow me up with all this craziness. You know, here's the thing. So you go back to your deal about exposing the drag queens with the kids there, right? Mm-hmm. And the people on Twitter, they want to come out because they've been told that the right just hates everybody.
Right.
We just hate everybody.
And you're phobic.
That and we're, fear mongering
hate
bigots.
Mongers and yep.
So all of these different deals, they try to justify it, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody sent me a deal. It's a troll on Twitter who said that your event that you videoed that now has gotten national coverage, said it was a ticketed event.
Yes.
So?
Okay, yes. That's correct.
Ticketed event.
That's correct. Tell me what that has to do with sexualization of children being wrong.
Right. So he even posted a thing, said this event contains strong language and suggestive dialogue and may not be appropriate for all ages. Viewer discretion is advised. Disclaimer, this is a ticketed event at a private establishment. We believe it is the prerogative of parents, guardians to make decisions regarding the well-being of their children. If you would not allow your children to see an R-rated movie or watch TVMA programming, this is not the event for them. Minors must be accompanied by a parent/guardian. So, okay, so it's a ticketed event. So does that make it okay to abuse children?
Right. And let me just tell you, what they posted is apparently the amended version since my video has been released, because I took a screenshot. You know, sometimes you just plan for these things to happen and you realize you need screenshots of what it looked like before I exposed them. So here it is from the actual company where you get your tickets. All ages are welcome to attend. However, due to suggestive material and coarse language, parental discretion is advised. If minors do attend, they must be accompanied by a parent/guardian. Viewer discretion is advised because we got potty mouths, no refunds. At the bottom, other than that, the rule is to have fun. We can't wait to see you.
Airdrop me that.
Sure.
Because it's time to own me some troll.
Sure thing.
Troll is delicious when you slow cook it, when you put a little smoke underneath it and baste that some bitch every now and then.
Delicious.
Cook it for about 24 hours, and it's funny how that troll just melts in your mouth. That meat just disappears.
Here we go.
You sent it to me?
I'm trying to airdrop. There.
Come on. Oh, yeah. Come on, girl. Airdrop this thing to me, girl.
Oh, I'm going to get it to you. I'm going to get it to you.
Trying. There it is. I found it. I done found it. Oh, man. All right. Good stuff. Thanks, sis.
I mean, the just pure idiocy of someone coming on and calling me a liar and claiming that this is an 18 and up event when there's literally a child right behind the drag queen. I'm like, how did the child get there then? If this is 18 and up, why is there a young girl there? Are you listening to what you are saying?
Yeah.
As it's coming out of your mouth, or you're typing it, I guess.
But again, as you know, based on what I was just ranting about at the beginning of this segment, they have been programmed. Their minds have been programmed that this is about inclusion and acceptance, and the fact that we're pointing this out, we must hate these people. No, I feel sorry for these people. I feel sorry for that child.
I feel sorry for the child.
But I feel sorry for all these people. They've been deceived.
Yes.
They've been told by the pandering, laundering, big voices out there that that's okay. And they need to be more accepting of this. In the name of acceptance, they're ruining lives.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time feeling sorry for the people who are sexualizing children. I feel sorry for the kid.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the kid. But to try to twist this around as if I'm a liar when there's God, this is what the left does all the time, though. They're like, they just call you a liar. And you're like, but the evidence is right here. I'm presenting it to you on a silver platter. And they're like, nope, fake news. That's a lie. Hunter Biden, your good friend, Hunter Biden, the laptop is like, no, that's a lie. No, but the guy has it. We've got all of the files.
It's all right there.
It's all right there, but you're a conspiracy theorist for literally bringing up the truth with evidence to back it up. It drives me nuts.
Hey, if you want to know what the left's real plan for your kids is, just look at the reaction to the work Patriot Mobile has been doing in multiple districts in Texas. The left is losing their minds over it. Patriot Mobile, as you know, America's only Christian conservative mobile phone provider. There's no companies out there doing what they're doing. They're a force for conservative values. This is because they take a portion of your bill and they use it to fund conservative causes and candidates who believe in the sanctity of life, freedom of speech, Second Amendment. And guess what? They're winning. Patriot Mobile has affordable plans for your family, even your business. They offer the same nationwide coverage as the major carriers. They use the same towers, the same networks. Plus, you're supporting conservative values with every call. So go to patriotmobile.com/Chad. You can call them at 972-PATRIOT. You'll get free activation when you use offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. You get special discounts for veterans and first responders. So join the movement. Make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/Chad or call them 972-PATRIOT and give them promo code Chad. We'll be right back. All right.
Hi, hello. We're just on air now, so
just hanging out. Well, we're always fighting the fight. People have no idea what comes with us all day long.
Ain't that the
truth?
Have no idea. My God, ain't that the truth?
And then they say, well, y'all aren't doing anything.
Okay.
I mean,
24/7.
We sit in here, we'd fight this fight. The shows that we do here are important to us, but they're a byproduct of what we do in life. Mm-hmm. See, that's what people don't understand. People are like, oh, well, I'm going to start a podcast. And I'm like, well, what are you doing, out there in the world? I mean, what do you want to, most people want to start a podcast to get a following or to create a cause. No, I have people who have sent us messages recently saying, hey, we would like to do more snippets for your social media clips and stuff like that. Look, dude, we have shows because of our social media clips, because we're out there doing the stuff, and the byproduct of what we've been doing in life, the shows come out of it, right? So here we are. So the stuff goes on even though we're trying to do a show. The show just helps us amplify the voice.
Yeah.
We're thankful for that. Don't get me wrong. We're thankful for it.
Absolutely, but it's also, I mean, it's hard work building up a social media following to be able to use to platform things like the sexualization of children so that we can expose it and change it.
And it really has dominated the conversation this week, and I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. Because this is something I have a righteous indignation about this thing. Mm-hmm. The Ulta thing, attacking women, You know, what they tried to do, the ploy for the last couple of years is they take away masculinity, right?
Yes.
There's an attack on masculinity. It's called toxic. You're everything from man-spreading to man-splaining. You can't even hold the door open for a female. You can't.
Well, there is masculinity. It's just now seen in females.
Well,
not
yeah,
males,
exactly.
Right?
See, now that's something they want to push.
Right.
And yeah, I don't want to go there. I was going to say something. I don't want to go there. Potentially call somebody out, and I don't want to. But they attacked masculinity. They tried to take the voice away from men who are supposed to be protectors of society. And then they came after the women. It's always the plan, right? They come after the women. So you couldn't say anything about Caitlyn Jenner. That is until Caitlyn Jenner ran for Republican governor in California. And then they all hated Caitlyn Jenner because Bruce didn't hold to the narrative.
Right.
They needed him to hold to, right?
Although, to be fair, then there were Republicans who latched on to Caitlyn Jenner as if we're supposed to be celebrating transgenderism all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah. Went both ways that way.
Right. So this perversion of God's creation in the name of acceptance and inclusivity is bogus. It is. Mm-hmm. It is. And now they're coming after children. Now, I say all that to say this. God wants us to have the right government in our lives, right? Mm-hmm. Jesus came preaching a kingdom, right? There's supposed to be the right government. The right government brings the right order brings the right peace. We don't have peace, we have chaos because we don't have the right order. We don't have the right government in place. We don't. That's why the Bible talks about submitting to those officials that are over you, the people who are, because they're supposed to be placed by God in order to do good work, to fight evil. Right. But now they're pushing the evil. Mm-hmm. So that's why this is important, because we don't have the right government, because we don't have the right people in that government. It's crucial as we come to November 8th, absolutely critical as we come to November 8th, that, and it's disheartening because you look at the list of candidates, and there's some decent ones out there. I believe there are. Mm-hmm. But wow. Yeah.
It's hard.
I'm disappointed. I mean, why is Dan Crenshaw? Why are his investments outpacing Nancy Pelosi's at this point? I've known Dan a long time. Mm-hmm. What's the deal, Dan? How did suddenly you get stock savvy? Because you weren't. I don't understand it. I've known you. You went to D.C. and suddenly, and then you can use. I've known your family. Your wife now has a consulting firm that y'all paid $100,000 to. Yeah, interesting. When did that happen? I mean, there was no talk of that consulting firm when I did her podcast, when I was a guest on her podcast years ago as a friend. Mm-hmm. I'm confused. Yeah. Now, maybe that pisses some people off, but I don't really give a shit anymore because I'm trying to figure out what happens when you people go to Washington, D.C. You were normal once upon a time. You were like a normal person. And it's weird how power somehow corrupts. And this is what happens. I'm confused. Yeah. But then when normal everyday people try to get involved, Herschel Walker doesn't have to run for Senate in Georgia. He doesn't have to. My God, he could live his life. He can be a celebrity forever, right? I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to run for office. I didn't have to ruin friendships and relationships. I didn't have to ruin all that stuff. I didn't have to lose money. I didn't do those things. Right. But we believed in it. Something about that power, though. And there's some other people who are going in. They're going to get elected, and they're going to go in there. And I know who's going to put their arms around them when they get to Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. I could call them by name because I know them personally. And I've already seen the trends. I've seen the signs, and I don't like it.
Well, have you been following the race in Utah with Evan McMullin challenging Mike Lee? Mike Lee. And he's literally using Act Blue as his donation partner. Act Blue. Like he is using the Democrats' infrastructure, and he's running as an independent, but he's very clearly running for the Democrat Party. So if he actually gets in, which I don't know, he might. It depends on voter turnout. But it's like these people are wolves in sheep's clothing, and they want to pretend like he wants to pretend like he's an independent, and he's going to use all of the Democrats' infrastructure and then say, so long, suckers, I'm voting totally conservative. No. When in history has that happened?
Right. Oh, boy. Hey, folks, fair warning. I want you to listen to this convicted home title thief explaining what happens after he forges his name on your home's title. Take a listen.
Nobody thinks that I can take their house and borrow against the house. Oh, no, I have title insurance for that. No, it's in my name, or he would have to get some special document. They would call me. Nobody's calling you. After I've stolen the title, borrowed against it, or sold the property, or done whatever I've done with it, it's 60 to 90 days to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. By that point, you start getting foreclosure notices, and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house. Not only that, you don't even own your home anymore. It's not even in your name.
Hey, guys, home title fraud is growing 2.5 times faster than credit card fraud. You could be a victim and not even know it. And here's how you need to protect yourself and verify your home's title is still in your name. Visit HometitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO. Register your address for a no-obligation home title report. You'll get a $100 value for free when they run that report. Again, get your free home title report at HometitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO. Be right back. All right. As we talked about this week, shop sarag.com, AmericanBeautyBySarah.com.
Thank you.
Subscribe to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered on YouTube. It doesn't cost you a thing to go up there and just hit subscribe and pay attention to the content. It gets her voice amplified. It gets her further into the darkness, penetrating it with light. That's what we want. So grow her platform. Grow her platform. Go to the News and Why It Matters where it's offered on podcasts. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Do that, folks. Do it. Doesn't cost you a thing to do that.
You can tell us about your Blumpkin, too, if you want.
Talk about the Blumpkin. Do it for me as well. WatchChad.com. Tuesday night, Lindale, Texas. Get your tickets. Come see me and the Ragamuffins. We're going to be there in East Texas. We love you. Have a good weekend. Tune in for Overtime. That'll be tomorrow. We love you. God bless you. Talk to you then. Take care. Bye.